to get what you want in life. Are you happy with where you are today? I don't know. I guess I am. I don't know about everybody else out there. Do you wish that your life was different? I guess in some aspects I kind of wish my life was a little different. I wish I wasn't as busy as I am. Wish I had a little more time for the grandkids and my kids and so on and so forth. But you got to make choices, I guess, in your life. How do you get what you want in life if you're not willing to go get it? So that's pretty much a theme of what we're going to talk about today. I'm guessing that a lot of you guys would want more in your life. And I preach over and over again about getting more and how you get more and different ways to create things and revenue streams and so on and so forth. But what I don't talk a lot about is the whole mentality behind it, about what you have to be thinking. There's no change without changes being made. Okay? So a good example would be, I'm not willing to give up my beer, so if I don't want to give up my beer, I can't complain if I put on a few pounds, because that's just the way it's going to be, right? So smoking, another prime example. So I realize I'm not going to get healthy unless I quit smoking. So I quit smoking 5 years ago or something, and it was one of the best moves I ever made. But without the changes being made, there would be no change, right? That's the reasoning behind that phrase. Whatever you did last year probably didn't work, right? This is something that baffles me about lawn care guys. I watch this, and I'm guilty of it myself. I've gone for a few years in a row where the sales weren't where I wanted them to be. They were nowhere near where I wanted them to be. I thought they could be a lot better. I just didn't realize I was beating a dead horse in certain areas I was working in. Okay, I didn't learn as quickly as I should have, and the things that I was learning, I would go on YouTube at night, I would study it, and the things that I would learn or read about, I wouldn't implement them. I would just listen to them like you're listening to me today, but if you don't take anything from this and apply it to your own self, you're not going to get any good out of it. Okay? That's what kills me about lawn care guys is things didn't work last year with you, and you just continue to think, oh, maybe they'll be better this year. And then this year comes and goes, and you're right back in the same boat, and winter comes, and you don't have the money to pay the bills, and you're thinking the same way again. You're like, oh, maybe next year will be better. You know what? Maybe next year will be worse. Maybe there'll be 6 more guys into it in your neighborhood, right? So you need to make changes in life in order for the changes to happen, all right? Not going to happen by itself. Never does, never will. So it starts up here. It starts with you thinking about making these changes in your business and in your life, and doing things about it. It's okay to sit and watch TV and come up with ideas. I used to do that all the time. I would watch hour after hour of YouTube stuff on growing your business and different ways you could do it and so on and so forth. And finally one day I realized I'm wasting a ton of time watching this kind of stuff. I'm not implementing things. I need to take bits and pieces off of some of these videos that I think make a lot of sense, and I need to apply them to what I'm doing. And then as I started doing that, it made my life better, it made my business better. Okay? All right, doing the same thing over and over again, the redundancy of that, and the truth of that is it's just insanity. If you're expecting different results and you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, it's just insanity. It's not changing anything. Okay? All right. You are what you consistently do. Okay? This is something that I've found to be true in just about everything I've ever done in my life. If you constantly are feeding yourself information about growing your business or being better with your money and just doing things better in general in your life, if you feed yourself full of that information, you tend to make those changes. On the other hand, if you feed yourself a bunch of stuff, like if I engulf myself in the Green Bay Packers, for example, I love the Packers, but I don't sit there and study every single press release that comes out and eat, breathe, and crap those guys, even though I could, and it might not be the best example, but I try to surround myself with things that are more educational to me than, what am I trying to say, entertainment. Okay, I'd rather do that than sit at home at night and in front of the television, just watch television for 5 hours a night. You know, I would rather get on YouTube or get on the internet and learn more things that I can adapt and put into my business to make me better. But that's just me. That's what I do, right? All right. If you think about it, are you guys reading? Are you listening? Do you do ebooks? Do you do all these things? Because if you're not, you're really missing the boat. Because your competition's doing them and they're changing, right? They're changing. They're changing their businesses for the better, and you wonder sometimes, you're like, God, those guys got a new truck, and there goes another one of their trucks. You know, those guys just keep putting new trucks on all the time. Well, it's not sheer luck that they're doing this, okay? They're doing things right in their business. They're reinvesting their money into their companies. They're marketing better, and they're growing, okay? And that's why you see them doing it. It's not that they're lucky. You know, they're just doing things with themselves. They took the knowledge that they've learned from someone, and they're putting it into their business, and they're making their business better. Bottom line. Again, if you don't want to change and you're comfortable where you're at, well, that's fine. I mean, that's not a big deal. But if you actually want change, and you know what you want in life, and you know you want to get more things and have a better life, then you're going to have to make some changes in your life to get there. All right. You shouldn't have to be put in the mood to do it. I have found this out with myself several times. Like, I can come home and be dead tired from working all day, and I still will go up in front of the YouTube, and I'll turn it on, and I'll see if some of the subscribers that I subscribe to, maybe I can still pick up tips, learn things. I'm always wanting to learn something all the time. And even if I come home to crack a beer and relax, I still enjoy sitting there learning something. And I know that I've taken these things throughout my lifetime, and I put them into my businesses, and it's made a huge difference. It went from being broke to not worrying about money so much anymore. That's the difference it's made for me. And that all comes with making those changes, right? Little bits at a time. It doesn't have to happen overnight, and you don't have to change your entire organization. Just pick little things that you learn out of people's videos, and you're like, man, that makes so much sense, and I'm not doing that. Okay, then start doing that. Okay, implement it. It's not just enough to sit here and talk about it. Okay, it's actually putting it in place and getting the wheels moving in your business. That's what makes a difference. All right, so another big thing that I see with lawn care guys a lot of times, and it's not just lawn care guys, it's in every business. I think people, I've seen, at least around me, I've seen landscapers even they'll put in their 8 hours and they're done no matter what. In a way, it can be a good thing, I guess, because it gives you that quality time off that you do need. But at the same time, if you're anything like me, like here in Wisconsin, where I have 6 months to make my money, we put in 12-hour, 14-hour days all the time because we have to do that. We have to do that where I'm at. Now, if you're down in Florida working your 9 to 5 or 7 to 3:30 or whatever it is, I get that too because they're landscaping year round. You know what I mean? So it does make a difference. That being said, you will have to sacrifice, and I've talked about this a lot with everybody. Change is sacrifice. You're going to have to sacrifice some of the things that you've been doing. Maybe you don't sit in front of the television and be lazy for 5 hours when you get home. Maybe you go out and work in the shop, have a couple beers out there while you're working on things, or when you're on YouTube trying to learn things about your, improving your business. That's what I do anyway. So, you will constantly do what you're doing. If you're in the habit of constantly coming home and parking your butt in front of that TV at the end of your shift, I get it. I understand it. Everybody understands it. But you will constantly do what you constantly do. So you've got to pull yourself out of it. And again, that comes back to that whole change, right? Changing everything you do. It starts here in your mind. Say, look, today when I come home, I don't want to just sit around in front of this television anymore. I got to work on my business. There's things that need to be done. Maybe trailers need to be fixed. Maybe the mowers need some cleaning up. Maybe I can take a pressure washer to them. There's always things you can be doing to improve your business. But it begins and ends with you, and ultimately, you have to have a game plan. You have to come up with a way. In the winter is the best time, in my opinion, is the best time to implement the changes. Because if you can look back at your year and everything that you've done, and you can say, look, things went really good this year. Here's where we succeeded. We made these changes, and look how well they paid off. For example, you might have done door hangers this year, and you did Facebook marketing, and you did pay-per-click advertising, and then you might come and say to yourself, okay, of these three, which you guys should be keeping track of, okay, which one of these was the biggest one that brought in the most customers? And now this next year, let's say if it, by chance, it happened to be Facebook, let's just say for an example, then you know next year you want to double down on that. You want to spend your money on Facebook, a lot more money on there, because that brought you the most customers, right? You still want to have multiple avenues you can go in to get customers, but if all of a sudden you find out the door cards aren't doing anything for you, get rid of them. Get rid of them. Stick your money into pay-per-click or into Facebook marketing or something else, right? So you won't know that unless you implement the changes. And you have to implement the changes if you want to get ahead, right? Don't just talk about it, do it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the little bell up here for further notifications. Thanks for watching.